So did you check the mic volume? Or
yeah, it looks like it was giving you all this. Okay, so if you guys want to open up Photoshop on your machine, just in case it takes a while to open up, today we're going to do animation. Technically, this is going to be rotoscoping, but if you guys have footage that you want to work on with this, you can.
I do.
I also have like a 5-second clip that you guys can grab, or you can just do it. You don't need to do it over footage if you don't want to. So up to you. I wouldn't, if you are going to use something, I would try not use anything longer than like 30 seconds at most. So 2 years ago, I took intro to animation, which was an interesting choice, and I made this.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of fun.
That's really good.
So this was originally.
Is that Jason's class?
Yeah. So this was originally this. We kind of we went around like the whole campus and just like.
Yeah.
I know. Just took we took I don't know, a bunch of clips, all of them being like a few seconds long, and then everyone in the class rotoscoped over like 4 seconds of it, and we put it together. And it looks really cool. I have no idea where it is, but it's somewhere. So this was my submission for that, and I will show you how to do it now. So do you guys all have Photoshop open?
Yeah.
Do you guys all have the timeline on the bottom? If you don't have a new canvas, you might just want to make like a 1920 by 1080 canvas.
What's a canvas?
Or
It's fine.
I actually forget what is the technical term. Is canvas the technical term for it in Photoshop?
I think that's an Illustrator term, but yeah, I guess.
Well, Illustrator artboard. But anyway,
Artboard, yeah.
as long as you have a little white box on your screen somewhere, that would be ideal. And then you should have like the timeline panel on the bottom, which is like this. For me, it looks a little bit different. So here I'll also make a new one and show what your screen looks like. So you'll probably have something like this. It might say frame animation or something like that. If that's the case, you just want to go down to this drop down and make sure it's video, because frame animation in Photoshop is quite hard, especially for anything longer than like a second.
It's the old school.
So once you have that, I'll just flick through how the example for. So if you create the new video timeline, you're probably going to get something like this, with like a background layer, and then kind of nothing else going on. Is everyone good with that? Cool. So this is what kind of my completed project look like. So if you see, we kind of have similar elements going on here. So we have this like bottom background layer. You can make this whatever you want, but I'm fine with it being white. So that's what you'd start out with. So in this case, I did a rotoscoping project, so I brought in some video footage. So if you want to do that, you can just like drag and drop it, kind of like you would in Premiere. Or you can go up to layer. Video layer is somewhere. And then new video layer from file. And then grab your file.
Yes.
Something like that. And then it probably, see, so it'll plop this back on. So that's how you get your video layer in if you want to. And like I said, you can also just drag it over. In the case of this rotoscope, I wanted to keep my background layer, but in some cases you might not want that. It kind of depends. Hello. Welcome. We just got started. If you want to hop on a computer, we're doing a little workshop. So yeah, this is composed of a few parts. So we have our source layer, and then on top of that, I have this kind of like background flushing thing. And then I don't know why I named this water, but this is really the rotoscope. Like, it's her getting filled up. I guess I was intending for it to be like water or something. And as you can see with this, once none of that is in the frame, I have not animated it anymore, because this clip is what, 2 seconds long, 3 seconds long, and it took me like all week. So we're not gonna do that tonight, but we'll do something similar. And then I have this camera, so that's also kind of coming together. And then I also have the flash. Wow. So when that's all together, like I showed you, we have this minus the source, and we get this fun little thing. And this can be like handy in videos, like if you like didn't have the background, something like that still looks really cool. So this is just kind of a handy little thing to throw in, make your motion graphics cool and stuff. So
And those are video layers, right?
yeah, so I'll get into showing you. I'll start with doing it as if you were rotoscoping, but the process is pretty similar if you're just doing animation. I think that Photoshop's a pretty decent tool to do animation in. I don't really like the timeline interface. I think After Effects and Flash do it much better in general. But you can use all the brushes, which is really nice because you get all these nice like textured Photoshop brushes. So like I said before, if you go to Layer, Video Layers, New Video Layer from File, you can import some video if you have it. This is a bit shorter than the default timeline, so I'm just gonna crop this down to here, so we're only working with what we need. And then I'm going to start animating on top of this. So what we're gonna do is go to Layer, Video Layers, New Blank Video Layer, and then that's gonna give us a new blank video layer. So versus last time where we had a video layer from File, this is completely blank. They look similar, which I think is kind of confusing, but yeah, this is something that we can start animating on. So in Photoshop, the animation's pretty destructive, so it's not like After Effects or Flash that you may have worked with before where things can kind of, you can kind of like work with stuff. It's basically like there are frames and you can put art on the frames, but they will go away. You can get around that, but it's pretty much you're going to be doing frame by frame animation. If you're using Photoshop, you're going to be doing like redrawing each frame. You're not really going to be reusing components on. There are ways around it, but that's pretty much what this tool is for anyway. So I need to move this mouse so I can do this. Actually, no, I don't.
We need a larger desk.
Yeah, so first things first, you're going to want to find a brush. If you're not familiar with brushes, you can access them. Hello. Wait, why isn't that working? Oh, it was just working before. Is it this pen?
It lights up when you touch it.
Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm just getting any feedback.
If the USB is unplugged in the back, which everybody doesn't use, Wacom does all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Here, do you want me to daisy chain this down for you? So you can use the keyboard at the same time?
Sure. Yeah. I think could I just move it down here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Technical difficulties, but we're good. So what we're gonna do is grab a brush. I'm just gonna make something kind of simple, or just grab one of these presets. A lot of these computers have really good ones loaded on anyway, so you don't even really need to mess with that too much. Wet sponge, is that a brush? Yeah, let's use wet sponge. And then I'm going to make this, let's say, a nice magenta.
I was gonna put it again. No, it's just, I'm trying to create a new document.
Okay.
So yeah,
Because it just needs to play.
we all set.
No, I have to say.
Okay.
Oh, it's just saying it's weird.
Sometimes Photoshop does, or at least when you had Illustrator do that. You just click it.
So once you have your brush and everything sorted out, you can start painting. Make sure your playhead is on where you want it to be, because what we'll see is that like if I'm in the middle here and then I scribble all over this and then go to the next frame, it's gone. If I go back, it's there again. So this art will only exist on each frame, which is how we can get kind of this really nice like painterly effect that we have here, where it seems like everything's kind of like very organic and alive, which is nice. So what we have going on here, if we were to do just like the normal rotoscope that I did in the other one, we literally want to go in and fill her in for each frame. I'm going to do that a little bit loosely for a few frames because we don't want to be here all night, but that is the basic idea, so we'll do something like that. That was not too terrible. And then I would suggest going into the program and adding hotkeys. I'm not going to do it right now because it kind of takes a bit of time, but you want to, the advanced frame and like retract frame don't have hotkeys by default, but you can add them. So if you want that, then I would suggest doing it because it's going to get kind of annoying to keep clicking this each time. Usually you make those like period and comma is a good one, like N and M, something like that. And then yeah.
Do you know what it is default for Photoshop?
They're not binded by default. So if you want them to be binded, you have to go in. I can show you the menu. It's kind of tricky to find them, like because like literally it'll give you like a list of like every single command. So ooh, that looks weird. Let's fix that a little bit. So we have something like that. Actually, that first frame wasn't even
What is
real.
this footage from?
This is from intro to animation we did. Oh, here you walked in late. We have like this.
No, I saw that. I just noticed that David Dorsey's in this frame.
Yeah, it was from
A very young David Dorsey.
it was from intro to animation 2 years ago. So I know it was a pretty nice day. Something rough like this, we can start to see everything come together.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you can make custom brushes like that.
So if I get rid of the background layer, we can kind of see this figment of a blob. But if this was a little bit more defined, it would start to look like this. From what we were doing.
That's good. I just got this video.
So you also don't need to rotoscope with this technique. You can just do like freehand animation. So if I go back to our beginning, and you'll see like kind of like these little kind of things in Photoshop a lot, or like in like videos a lot, where they make kind of like a little like line
He just shrugs at you.
come around. So you can kind of, this is really useful for like adding like little like effects or stuff to your videos.
You work in 3D.
In this, I don't think so.
Not that I know.
Not yeah. Oh, another important thing: onion skins. There are onion skins. It's a little bit tricky because you really need to like go in and do it or like set it up properly. And it gets a little iffy with the video. But if oh god, it really doesn't like that. If I go in and show you on this one where I've already like worked out, so that's right here on like the hamburger menu, and then there's a bunch of different stuff here that you might want to play with and see how you like it. But I definitely like onion skins, which are basically just kind of like phantom images showing you what your previous frames were. So yeah, so right here on the side on the panel menu, and then enable onion skins, and then if you want to change stuff, you go to onion skin settings, and you can really like fix it to be the way you like it. So we can see here, this is like the like 2 or 3 frames ago. This is the next frame. That's the frame after. So you can kind of get a sense of what you've been doing in your animation. Any of you who have done animation before know what's kind of going on here. I don't know why. So yeah, we can see this like squiggle. I can kind of see like where it has been and where it is going. Yeah, it's probably a bit too much. Usually only want like a few, but to really hammer in the point, maybe something like this.
What if you make a paint stroke and then want it to last a second frame?
We were talking about that. I'm not. I don't think you can like copy in this. I was trying to figure that out.
You can duplicate frame, that's fine, but the aesthetic, it's kind of like violated.
Can
When
you
when
do
you
it?
have-
Violent.
It is. I mean, you have this moving along at 12 frames a second or whatever, and you have this active line mark, and then you have blip.
Yeah, like usually you would want
I mean,
want
if
this
you want
if
to,
you
you
want.
can copy and paste them.
If you want something to, but you would have to copy and paste the whole entire layer.
No, this under layer at the top. I think it's under video layers. It's duplicate frame F4,
Oh right, okay.
and that just duplicates it to the next frame, and it's like a ripple insertion type thing.
That's actually good to know.
And then
So it'll
you,
push everything else.
yeah,
So-
push everything forward.
I was really trying to figure that out. Yeah, it's just a little. I know there's a. Now I'm blanking on the. Yeah, so yeah,
It's really
so
just
that-
good for
that
straight
can do.
ahead though. I mean,
There's
it gets janky.
There's a plugin, I don't know the name of it particularly, but it adds like a toolbar here that like all this stuff that is hidden that we're talking about is put on the toolbar, which is really handy because just like I like this is it's a pretty good, it's like the only animation software that you can get like nice like raster images unless you're getting like Toon Boom or something like that, but you probably already have Photoshop, but the interface is just really bad because this isn't an animation
And it stayed
program.
the same for a while too.
Yeah, and it's like there's no like frame lines or anything. Like it just looks like video. So yeah, that's kind of
And you can shift these in time.
yeah. You can move them around, kind of
And
just
you
like you were.
Layers, like transformations and stuff.
That's
But
about
there's no computer in between. That's what you.
that's
a lot of
about
people
all
are
there
frustrated
is
with that.
for how to do this. I mean, there's the whole like principles of animation, everything. But something else that's kind of fun that you can do is if you want to do more with these, you can export. Well, you can bring them into After Effects, or you can export them and then bring them into After Effects. I was having trouble bringing it into After Effects before, so
I have a stupid question though.
yeah. What's up?
Why is the paint layer on the bottom?
That's background layer. That one, because that's just a normal layer, like a normal like Photoshop layer.
Yeah, the purple ones are just
Yeah.
where it's the same every frame that it exists.
Yeah, these are. Oh God. Oh, look at that. So maybe it does show you where some stuff about it.
So, do the video layer brush layers, does it matter which one we're throwing on top?
Well, you want to paint the video layer for animation.
All right. Well, that's. I'm gonna let After Effects open.
Purple, like, perfect. So, those, like, if
Do
you,
you
if
want-
you want some.
Do you want to start doing this? It's quite large.
Yeah.
On just a normal After Effects.
Every frame is a.
Yes.
Oh wow, so they did update, so new splash.
Yeah.
Oh great. Wonderful.
Oh, that one.
Oh,
That one
all
looks
the
new.
all the footage
Yeah,
is
it's like this,
35
every time I see a new splash image, I can
gigabytes. So
It's called
the
Splash.
only other
Well,
the other
like
use
the
is-
splash image, like, it's like, what's up? I don't know.
Who
What's
makes
called
the
a
splash?
There are always different artists, they usually have the name. When it starts the little sequence of loading. Oh, artwork by Michael Wrigley.
Oh, nice. Good job, Mike.
It looks great, Mike.
Should I
Do
just
you think they
throw it in?
pay the person?
No,
This is-
it's
this
they
is
probably
the
give
most
him an
recent
exposure bucks. It's like these are the best exposure bucks you're ever gonna get. So-
Everyone who opens
I
software
think you
can see it.
need probably to have.
They're gonna know
all-
your
It's like the U2 album.
Did you want the Premiere file?
These
Okay.
are the equivalent of the iPhone.
So
The one that automatically appeared.
Yeah,
I
the one that
spent like a whole
automatically
day
you
trying
had
to
to
figure it out.
download.
Like, iTunes library?
Yes, that piece of shit.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I hate being forced to like consume anything.
Wow, this is taking a while to open the back.
Much less YouTube.
Is it getting mad at me that I have Photoshop open
YouTube's a
also?
fascist.
Dude,
fascist.
what are you doing?
I'm rotoing this kid who breakdances
Why are you yelling at me?
because you asked me
It's
what I
intensity,
was doing.
artistic intensity.
Alright,
Yeah,
Look at
what
the
was
bear on his
Rosie,
chest.
you know?
Look how cute that is.
so you guys don't need to do this if you just want to animate in Photoshop, but just so you're aware, since this is an Adobe program, it likes to work together with other Adobe programs. So we can, hey, go away. We can bring this into After Effects and do some effects on it after you do it.
Well, no, you're not doing a new video.
You want to import the Photoshop layer, and then you want to do it as a composition with editable layer style. Oh, and this was the problem that I was getting before. So never mind. It doesn't want to work, even though it should. But there's a solution. We can just do,
And it's 360 frames.
we can export a PNG sequence.
So, okay, well, that's fine, right, transferring video.
I can remember how to do
Let's
that.
convert it. It's not gonna show.
Wait, what did you do?
I just got Command T.
Mm-hmm. That's much of it. He's so disappointed I did that.
No, I gotta talk to him.
Please don't.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He was gonna fail me.
Yeah, he's gonna retroactively.
No, he was gonna.
Oh,
And it wasn't even because I wasn't doing my work. I was turning it into the Dropbox instead of to the iCloud. So he's like, not the iCloud, the cloud server. So he's like, you turned it nothing. I'm like, Alex, open your Dropbox. Literally, it's all been there.
Oh, that's awful. So if you draw into that layer now, like frame by frame,
No,
you'll see it.
Says the
How do you
onions
do a P? Nick, do you know?
Oh,
So use like a white stroke. just like
From
I'm
here.
And
Yeah.
how did you
Go
name
to-
the onions gonna be?
Under the hamburger.
Make sure first you're selected on what you want.
It's
Stupid.
That's what it's called. And
Man,
then
and
then you
onions
file,
inside, so like you do
export.
2 frames before, 1 frame after, whatever.
If you
Render
I'll
want
do one.
video?
We'll do
I
one
would
frame.
render
We'll edit on
video.
one. This is today.
First we could do it.
Oh, frame rate, that reminds me.
Because then I think you can then choose PNG sequence from there.
Frame rate.
Yeah.
I'm just blind. There.
So do PNG.
It's a shame.
Oh, right. For
Should I
animation.
name my island in Animal
I
Crossing?
think
Huge.
that's oh look back.
I'm trying to figure out a
my
good
final
island
project
name.
is called On the Fly. Yeah. Like some weird like 80s Miami synth stuff.
Crazy.
So
you split.
our final project
Anything?
was motion
Lava girl.
graphics piece
Thank
on
you.
a social justice
saw
topic
that.
and support.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you know which one was mine?
No.
Did you
Okay.
remember the Snapple fact
So
one?
let's see if this works now.
That makes sense.
There were ones talking about abuse,
Oh
talking about
god.
the planet dying. And it was like, Snapple facts are wrong.
I was wondering about that too.
Oh, they're so wrong. The Statue of Liberty is the first electric lighthouse? No. It's the solder lighthouse.
Okay.
Hey.
Is that what you exported
We're
out of
beyond the age of truth.
Photoshop?
Yeah, it just didn't put
Yeah,
it in
so- and
a.
then
It
I
just
put
didn't put it in a
Trump
folder. So
Or move
that
on,
should come in.
right?
Yeah, there we go.
That's annoying. It didn't
Pokemon
go
Go
out
now.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't put it in the folder. Okay, so to bring it back. So what we did there
Yeah.
was I went into Photoshop since Dynamic Link wasn't working for some reason. Just went to export and exported it as a video. But it wasn't. I just instead of a video, I did a PNG sequence. Did PNG because that way it's transparent. And then
checkers.
it gave me
The transparency.
a bunch of PNGs. I put them in a folder, brought them into After Effects. Now I have a little piece of footage, and now I have this in After Effects. And I can do whatever I want with
Did you
it.
do it on the ones at 30 FPS? Seriously?
Yeah.
I love intro.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
first of all, we can take a look a little bit more at how like each one of these frames is composed. We can mess with this in many ways. So we can, do our normal Photoshop or normal After Effects stuff. Maybe bring it up. and then bring it down again, and then give it a little spin.
In 3D.
A little spin. We could give it a little spin in 3D. If we turn on 3D layer.
Let's say I imported my sequence and
Whoa,
that's pretty cool. Baller stuff. Let's say I imported my sequence and I really meant for it to be like on the twos, like 12 frames a second, but After Effects is making me show it at 30 frames a second. What would I do?
You could come up here, composition settings, and then make that 12, I guess, if you're doing it, or 24.
So then play it back, see if it's going any slower. No, it looks the same.
More or less. I don't know what this Photoshop one was
80
actually
frames
done
per
on.
second.
You
No,
can
yeah, this one was, well, this is what it's supposed to be, 24.
24. Okay.
But if we went in and did 12,
I play back. Wait, it's the same speed.
no, that's much faster.
So up on the footage itself in your project panel, see how it says on the metadata on the top? It
Oh,
says
yeah,
30
yeah.
FPS? Yeah, you can right click the footage and interpret. Yeah. And then you can set that to 12.
And then we can also make that loop a bunch.
That's cool. Yeah, really crank it out. I was like, what is sort of fancy stuff are you doing there with that math on your
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a little linear algebra into the timeline. Whoa.
That's better. Good old
Oh, I guess
twos.
all of this didn't export or something or in grandma. But yeah, this is a nice little way of making little animations for your stuff, and the fact that you can bring them into After Effects pretty easily is really handy. Because I would not want to be editing this all together in.
What's the benefit
Photoshop.
of doing it in Photoshop?
You can get nice brushes, and stuff like that.
Vector.
You heard Glenn.
What?
Oh, I like that.
Vectors.
But Flash animation, seriously, I hate that aesthetic.
Yeah, Flash just can look a little lame. Although this is much more difficult. Yeah, so you can make some unholy thing like this.
Yes,
I don't know
there
why
you
it's
go.
not playing
I see it.
out.
She has a mandorla. That's what they call it in art history.
Uh,
Like it's like a halo, like a almond
Oh,
shaped
yeah,
halo
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Oh, like around Mary.
Yeah, mandorla.
The
It's
official
like
art
it's distinctly
um,
They put it on Jesus.
God is a woman.
Well, it's also the secret
Basically
places,
makes,
which is in like geometry.
a random map.
Overlapping with circles.
Oh my god,
Doesn't
no,
Doesn't that
no,
It's a lot.
no, I hate it.
7:30.
I like the legs.
I'm liking this.
I like the leg.
Yeah,
This is
Play it back into this.
you just need sound design and it's done.
It's just noise.
Oh yeah, slurp.
Oh my
there you go.
god,
It needs like a
Characters.
slurping sound and some like
This is awful.
ragtime piano music.
So I'm on it. Let me do a Pro Tools demo.
That's weird, the little banding that you're getting. I like
That's
probably
from
the projector.
projector.
Judge, you can't handle that.
On the
So, are you gonna control your FPS in Photoshop or no?
yes.
You can, yeah. Under the hamburger menu, there's a timeline frame rate.
I think you can. Yeah. So set timeline frame rate. They give you some options, but you can put in your own.
Custom.
Yeah.
8, animate on the 3s, call it a day.
That just sounds like a weird time signature for a piece.
I'm a
Does anyone have any
I'm a
questions?
17 as
I
well.
will
You're
have
so-
to close the
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Rhythmic animations.
Oh, there's an excellent there's a drummer video. Like, he
How
just
come
takes